been with us for a couple of weeks now. He finally get a chance to come out and join us. But first, my boy Marcus is in the building, and we also got Jeremy in the building. What's up, guys?
What's up, guys? How you doing? How you doing today?
What's up, fellas? What's up? Said, you sounded like you said we're back here. Remember Thin Line, 3-Love-Hate?
Yeah.
Bobby Brown was on the phone. He was like, hey, we got a situation over here. He got hit in the back of the head.
Bobby Brown.
Yeah. That's what you sounded like, bro.
Yo, we got Tim. Tim's going to join us a little bit later. He's running a little late, but he's going to join us later. We're going to get right into it. The Bulls played yesterday, Milwaukee Bucks, with a win, 114-110 to even up the series. Going into the game, man, your first thought what was your thought process going into the game? Did you guys think they had a chance to win? Let's give our special guest the first crack at it. Go ahead, Jeremy.
You know what? Honestly, I did not. Coming into this game, I really felt like it was Milwaukee's to lose. I felt like the Freak was going to get all the calls, which you kind of did. You kind of saw it. I just thought it was just going to be too much for the Bulls to handle. I was not expecting that outcome. I'm really happy about it, as we are right now, 1-1 going into Chicago. But, yeah, I wasn't expecting that to happen, especially after the first game at all.
Marcus, what you think? I mean, what your thought process? Did you think they was going to pull this game out? Even having a game like they had the first game, it was a bad shooting all the way around on both sides. But going into this game, what did you think? What was your thought process, thinking that they was going to pull it out, or how you think it was going to map out?
Well, you can't talk about this game without talking about that first game. I don't care how muddled up that first game was. It's playoff basketball. Traditionally, and I know we're used to a lot of 3-point scoring and all that kind of stuff, but traditionally, scoring slows down in the playoffs because every play is like really magnified or intensified defensively. So scoring and shooting percentages probably are down. So I didn't care about that part. What I cared about going into game 2, and it's not a moral victory, but the way we played that game 1, we could have won that game.
Absolutely.
Saying that knowing that we could have won that game gave us encouragement. Like DeMar DeRozan said it best in the press game conference after game 1. He said, we stunk up the joint, but there's no way we're going to go into game 2 shooting that way. He could have packed it in and went to practice the next day and said, you know what? We played well, guys, and this is going to be great playoff experience for next year. You guys are going to be great next year. But his whole attitude was, we're going to win game 2. He could have easily, how they say you talk the talk, then you walk the walk. Even though they walked the walk, he first talked that talk. He said, there's no way we're going to shoot like this in game 2. And he went in that practice. You could tell. He went into that practice for the next day and said, we win in this game. He talked to them youngsters. I don't care about no more victories. We win in this game. We're right there. And man, did he come in and do a thing.
Yeah, I mean, going into the game, I mean, as a Bull fan, I never think they're gonna lose any game anyway. So, and I told you guys on the last one, I said if the Bulls win next game, Milwaukee's in trouble because now it splits. Now you go home and play 2 games in Chicago, and I said it may split in Chicago as well, but it still put the pressure on Milwaukee if they split. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody thought it was gonna be a sweep, and everybody thinking the Bulls may win only 1 game, but they end up splitting. And if they split at home too, that's 2 games. That put more pressure. Now we're going back and forth or whatever. You know what I'm saying? So they came out on fire, playing good defense and everything. So what happened in the beginning of the game, I didn't have a doubt that they wasn't going to win because, like I said, as a Bull fan, we always going to think that anyway. But as it started going, I'm like, oh, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. They could have actually been up, beating them, and I put it in a group by 20. But there was a lot of missed opportunities, you know what I'm saying?
Or a lot of weird calls. Milwaukee was getting a lot of calls that the Freak is the Freak, but I mean, you saw some calls where you were like, that should not be him going to the line right there. That was clean. I mean, and it is what it is. He's the best player and one of the best players in the NBA. He's going to get his calls, but there was a lot of them that was every time that they would go up by a run, they'd have a call on the other end, and you were like, why was that even a foul? So, I agree with you. They should have had it up by 20 a couple times, but they just couldn't get that run. There was always something that happened. And Holiday is one hell of a guard, and we have trouble with him. And every time we would kind of go on a run, he would come down and just take it to the hole and score right away, or dump it down to the freak and get an easy bucket. And that's something that we have to watch, I think, for the rest of the series is Holiday and how he's going to guard DeMar this next game.
Gotcha.
Because he handled in the first game.
Gotcha.
Like,
Tim just made it in. So we go get his thought process. Hey, what's up, Tim? How you doing?
Doing good. How about you guys?
Good.
Wait, man, I got double vision now, man.
Yeah,
Crazy, man. Y'all guys talking like, looking like. I mean,
it's a twin attack. Look, you're gonna hear different opinions, though.
Who's the oldest?
He is.
He raised his hand like, I'm the oldest.
Yo, I'm gonna go back to you, Tim. We just started. We got started. What was your thought process going into the game? Yesterday's game. Did you think they was gonna do what they did, or did you think they was gonna fold?
Oh no! Like we talked about on Monday night. I said they got to come out and punch them in the face, and that's what they did. The first 5-6 minutes of the game, going up 9-0 on them, and controlling the defense, making steals, and I think that's what they made a little run to come back, but I think that's what helped us out dramatically was getting out that a good start and hitting shots.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, I was impressed, and then it got kind of scary as the game went on. I was like, oh, come on! I thought because every NBA team have that run, you know what I'm saying, and every NBA team have to withstand it, and I think the Bulls did a great job of just holding it down.
Oh yeah, and you know what? Brook Lopez has been technically the killer in both games with him hitting threes and making these lucky layups and ones and stuff. So I didn't expect that out of Brook Lopez, but the Bulls they cleaned it up. They came in, they played physical last night, and I enjoyed it. You know what I mean? Like I love to see that. Caruso was out there being Caruso again. The bench needs to step up a little bit more. You know what I mean? Like Kobe White had a bad game last night. Ayo's had a bad 2 games, but it's their first time in there. Derek Jones has looked, not bad, but decent. You know what I mean? And it's a hard time, but they got to clean that up. The switching off, like Stacey King was saying all last night, is they got to clean that up. Like a big's got to stay with Giannis. You know what I mean? You can't put Ayo on him and expect Ayo to sit in the paint with Giannis. You know what I mean? It's a mismatch all the time.
But you're going to get those mismatches. It's going to happen. I mean, you would think that him and Caruso would be a mismatch, but Caruso held his ground. So sometimes those mismatches, like you say, it's going to happen in the game. Not every time can you switch over that pick and roll and get over and just switch back like that, because now you're letting that guard drive the lane. So there's going to be times that it's going to happen. They just have to be a little bit stronger. I mean, again, he's going to get his fouls. He's going to get in the paint. We just have to keep sending that pressure at him so he knows it's constantly coming. That's what they did all last game. They brought the pressure at him. Every time he got the ball, there was 2 or 3 guys in him, and they made him either you're going to make a hard bucket or you're going to pass it out. I believe that there was a couple times that you believe, or if you see him, when he goes to his right, when he dribbles with his right, he always drives. When he goes to his left, he always pulls up and passes out or shoots. So if you keep watching that, you'll be able to know how to kind of guard him. He's going to get his buckets, but without Middleton now, we'll see what happens. That's huge.
And we're gonna get into Middleton. We'll get into Middleton soon. Before it's over with. Marcus, I want to ask you, because I know, I mean, you pressed for time too as well. Who do you think stepped up to the challenge yesterday? I mean, if you could pick one that actually stepped up to the challenge of yesterday's game after having one of those type of game one, after having one of those type of game, who do you think stepped up to the challenge?
I think we have a new glue guy. Remember, it used to be Luol Deng. It's clearly Alex Caruso. I mean, I'm trying to say this right, because I'm cringing when he's shooting the jumper or the 3. He made 3 last night, and that's good.
But he moves the ball.
But man,
he moves the ball and makes the right decision.
But defensively, this guy is what Stacey King loves to say, an irritant. You notice, I don't know if it was by design or by switches, he was guarding Giannis Antetokounmpo, and he was effective. This guy, he was guarding Middleton. He was guarding, I don't care who he was guarding. He was taking a challenge. Remember, it reminded me of the Dream Team Olympics when they played Croatia. Jordan and Pippen was on the bench guarding. No, I want Kukoc. No, I want. This is what Caruso was like. No, I'm guarding him. No, I'm guarding him. This guy kept us. It wasn't his offensive prowess. It was the defense. So I'd say, although the star was DeRozan, because DeRozan is a bucket. I would say that. But what Caruso did was not to go unnoticed. This man was in on every play. He was scared. He set the tone. Defensively, he set the tone. And without him, I don't know if we win that game. Because the first 3 Milwaukee Bucks possessions were turnovers. If depth is setting the tone was a person, that's Alex Caruso.
I have to go again with Alex Caruso. That was my exact pick when you asked me earlier. It was Caruso, and I'm gonna piggyback off him. I believe that when he plays defense like that, I believe his offensive shot is a little bit better. I believe he kind of takes a better role, or I would say better shots. And makes better decisions. Not only was his defense on point, but his offense was also on point. He made some good passes when needed. That one pass that it looked like he was about to pass it out, and then he found, I believe it was Vooch underneath for that dunk later on. That was huge. Yeah. That was a huge play. And I believe that when he's the point guard right now, I know it's not the best option, but for right now, it's the best option for the Bulls because he moves. He moves the ball. He gets it across the half court line. He doesn't sit there and play with it. You know, I believe that when he has the ball in his hands on offense, that's kind of our best facilitator right now. And DeRozan needs to get open and get that ball, and so does LaVine. I believe LaVine has been kind of slacking, and I believe Caruso has been picking up for him.
Gotcha. What you think, Tim? Who you got?
I'm definitely gonna, Caruso is definitely one, but I'm gonna go again with another solid game by Vujacic. The man posting up down low, making moves on Brook Lopez and Giannis and taking them in. He's got to get accustomed to get more in the post, but now he's starting to hit that jumper inside the 3-point line, and I think now it's tough for Milwaukee to sit there because, again, Brook Lopez can't guard anybody. Like Stacey King said, it takes him 2 weeks to run a 40-yard dash. And Vujacic played well last night. He had a couple of blocks. Played. He was kind of it's a mismatch with Giannis, but I think Vujacic stepped up to be that second guy to go with what DeRozan was doing last night. And he stayed out of foul trouble too last night, which was a big thing. So
he was close. He was riding 5 for a little bit at the end there. I like Vooch, but I believe that's what you get out of him right now is what you should be getting out of him. I still don't like his defense. I believe when he drives the lane sometimes he's still a little soft. Every time he takes it in hard, I feel like he gets blocked. I don't see a big dunk out of him unless he's wide open for it. And that's a problem.
Yeah, but I think with Vooch, and I've been riding Vooch the whole season. You know what I'm saying? But what he's doing different than he was in the beginning and up to now is you got to play him for the jump shot now and the drive because now he's doing a little bit of both in the playoff. You know what I'm saying? So I give him his props. And I asked you, Jeremy, who was doing the pre-show or whatever. I'm thinking because my pick who stepped up to the challenge to me was Patrick Williams on the strength of him setting the tone before the game even started by saying they asked him about the Greek Freak. He was like, he's good, but he's not God. He put on his pants like I do. You know what I'm saying? So it set him up to have a good game because you got to back it up. You got to back it up.
So, absolutely. I wish he would take more shots. I think that was what we were talking about. He's stepping it up on the defensive side, but he's not shooting like he should. And I believe That last 3-point shot that he shot, that's why it looks so bad. He's not taking the regular shots in the game. So then when the game's on the line, he looks kind of awkward taking that shot.
Yeah.
So I just want him to shoot more. I believe you're right. I believe he's one person that when he steps up, it's going to be great for the Bulls, but he's got to shoot more. That's all. That's all that my problem with him is.
I wanted to get back to that Vucevic pick because I think that goes hand in hand with Zach production going down a little bit. The fact that Vucevic, you got me sounding like Tim. Vucevic.
Whatever his name was.
I know, right? the fact that Vooch, let's just say Vooch, the fact that his numbers are going up because it's a three-headed monster. Somebody's number is going to go down a little bit, and I don't mind. In particular, this series because man, does Milwaukee have some bigs. So if we can get Vucevic to, he's still kind of cringe when he hit those threes, but when they're falling, he's a hero, right? So Zach's numbers come down from 25 per game to 20. I'm okay with that because that just means that somebody else is getting volume shots and they're scoring. So I'm not mad at Zach, although I think to take care of the ball a bit more and make better shots.
Yeah.
So, but still, as long as one of our big threes have stepped up and fulfilled what Zach normally does, I'm cool with that.
Yeah. Okay. So I mean, I like I said, I think he's playing well because now he has a power forward that's actually rebounding, and then helping him out on defense. So he's not the only one in the island by himself. You know what I'm saying? Because Green is 6'5", playing the power forward position. You know what I'm saying? So by Patrick Williams is in there, it's kind of laying some pressure off him. And saying that, my next question was about Vucevic is improving because of Patrick Williams. But my thing, I was asking you, Jeremy, Ayo's not playing. Do you think that's hurting his confidence, or do you think it's actually him seeing what's going on in the atmosphere and how everything is ran in the playoff? Is it hurting him not playing, or is it helping him just to oversee everything?
I believe it's helping him. I believe he's a young player that a lot of people didn't see him doing as much as he was supposed to. So I think everything that he's getting right now, and he's taking it one stride at a time. I believe sitting behind Caruso, he's kind of seeing how to play the game without scoring. So then, when they need him out there on defense, he knows exactly what to do and then give him points here and there. He is a big player that's going to help them out. But like I said, I don't think it's hurting him by sitting behind Caruso in the crunch time. I believe Caruso needs to be out there because of his defense and because of the way he moves the ball. I believe Ayo is learning a great lesson by sitting on the bench and watching Caruso. And I believe that's going to help him next year.
Gotcha. What you think, Tim?
Well, I agree with my brother on that one. I think Ayo sitting and watching what it takes to play in the playoffs. This ain't regular season where you can get away with a few mistakes because the game is back and forth. In the playoff, it's a dogfight, and you're learning from one of the biggest, baddest dogs in Alex Caruso, who's out there showing them how to play defensively and how to keep that pose to say, hey, listen, times may be bad, but you need to keep fighting through it. And then he sits on the bench, and if you watch him and Kobe White, they're right next to Tristan Thompson, and Tristan Thompson is in their ear telling them, this is how you play because your number will be called on down the road in a playoff game, and this is what we need out of you. And I think it's good for them.
Every time you flash on Ayo on the bench, he's always paying attention to one of the coaches or the players talking to the coach. He's not sitting there really talking to the other players. I mean, he's literally paying attention. Like I said, I really like him coming out of Illinois. I mean, if you know me, Illinois is my team, so I can tell you a lot. I've always liked him. And he's a guy who's always going to get better with the years. I believe we have a stud sitting there. And I really do. I believe the years to come is going to be – the future's bright for him, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see it.
What do you think, Marcus?
Yeah, I'm going to say this because I know you guys got to go forward, but I'm going to say this before I sign off. It's an invaluable experience for Ayo, for Kobe, for everybody. I know we want what we want because we're Bulls fans. Technically, even though we didn't finish strong, technically, I think number of days on the NBA season, we were in first place in the East. Brooklyn started off. I think we had the most days in first place. I think the last month and a half was Miami. As far as days. So we were thinking we were ready. We were about to win a championship. And we got bumped down to the 6, and we ended up playing the defending champions, and that's fine. And it didn't look well coming to the series, but still, there is invaluable experience with Ayo. Just been there, just watching. He's getting his minutes, and I think it's smart with Donovan not to start him because Holiday could be intimidating. Holiday lit into us a couple of games ago when we played him. I think he had like 14 to 16 in the fourth quarter, something crazy like that. But Kobe White, Patrick Williams, these guys are getting great playoff experience, and what better way to get it than to go up against the defending champions? And we stole home court advantage. So this is going to help us, man. That's why I'm encouraged by this team. And I just know Patrick Williams is going to up that shot volume, going to get more aggressive at some point, because he's already saying that Giannis is not, I mean, he can, he could be played against. We could play against him. He's not God. So He's talking confident. And that's all you want is confidence when it comes to these young players. And playoff experience gives you that confidence, man.
Absolutely.
Gotcha. Go ahead, do what you got to do, man. I know you got to get up out of here, but be tuned into us. I mean, we'll be back. They play Friday. We probably come back.
I'll be back. Are we going on Friday night?
We could. If they win, we definitely will.
Well, I know you guys are about to finish the show, but I'll jump back in on the next time. Hopefully we got a Bulls W. Hopefully up 2-1. Whether it's Saturday morning, Friday night, I'll be there, fellas. But I'll talk to you guys later, man.
All right, Marcus. Have a good one.
Hey, guys, y'all be good. Take care.
Yeah. So I mean, and I think because that's why I wanted them to get a point guard before the trade deadline, because I knew the playoff would be too big for Ayo. You know what I'm saying? Even though he played big games in college, but the pro playoff is a totally different breed. Everything slows down. It's a half court. It's not an up and down type of game. You know what I'm saying? Everything slows down. So, I mean, with that being said, I mean, even though Alex Caruso is starting the point guard, we still need somebody to step up in the position when he goes out and get a break. Because, I mean, we don't want him to get hurt or those little freak accidents or whatever. Because, I mean, anything bound to happen, like with Middleton, you know what I'm saying? Anything bound to happen. So we need to get somebody out there that actually is gonna give Caruso that break that he needs, because he's playing defense on everybody.
Yeah, and that's it's kind of hurting us now that Ball's out. And I think they were expecting him to come back, so that was the reason they didn't budge. I mean, when you ask us back then, hindsight's 2020. You asked us back then, we're like, oh no, Ball's coming back. Right. Now that we know he's not coming back, we kind of like, we wish we would have made a move. And that's why I said it's probably huge for Ayo too, because he's not just watching Caruso. He's also watching Holiday on the other side on the defensive prowess. Honestly, I got to respect the man on his defense over there, because the way he gets into DeMar and the way he gets into Levine, he's making them move and making them do things that they're not comfortable doing. And he's not getting fouls. You know what I mean? He's doing it at a pace where no one else, and that's what makes Milwaukee move. I really do at defensive wise. So I believe that Ayo is really sitting over there and he's watching these two guards and the way that they handle their business. And this is huge for him. So we'll see where it goes. But like you said, it would be great to have a Ball, you know what I mean? Or a point guard to help out here. But like I said, I think Ayo's going to kind of step in here, do his work. And let's get some more wins under our belts. Like I said, we have opportunity. I believe when Derrick Rose went out against Philadelphia, we were the number 1 seed that year. Yeah. And I don't think Philadelphia had a chance in hell to beat us until that happened.
That's serious. They did. Yeah.
The very next game, Noah went out, and it was just a bunch of stuff. Anything can happen.
Right.
Middleton out, anything can happen.
Gotcha.
And if we could take 2 in Chicago, wow, that would be awesome.
Oh man, what you think, Tail?
Oh man, I'd be ecstatic. We take 2 from them and put them out of the series and move on to the next round. I think the Bulls honestly can be this year, if they play like they played last night, they can be this year's Atlanta Hawks. You know what I mean? Because everybody slept on the Atlanta Hawks last year, and they came through the playoffs like a storm, and they no one could weather it. So the Bulls can play like they did again last night. And don't get me wrong, they played a good game. A decent game in the first game, but they were right there to win that game. It's just shots weren't falling. But coming to home, back to home court to Chicago, now the momentum has shifted, and the Bulls know now what they need to do. And minus Chris Middleton is big for Milwaukee because Pat Connington is not hitting 3-pointers. We still got to watch out for Holiday. Drew Holiday can go off at a moment's notice and put 14 to 16 points in a quarter to help them out. I think Bobby Porter's taking that shot to the eye by Tristan Thompson is going to mess him up a little bit because, his sight is not going to all be there. Yeah. I think, Milwaukee's deep, but I don't think they're that deep where coming into Chicago, that Chris Middleton, that's 18 to 20 points right there. You're missing. And he hits big threes. Remember
yesterday,
shot. He got hot. He was 4 for 5 from 3-pointers in the third quarter alone.
Yeah.
So that's a big misadvantage right there when you're missing one of your best 3-point shooters.
Yeah.
Like that, and it goes out. And Jeremy said he is a big shot guy. He, last year, remember in the finals, he had a 40-point game. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's big for Milwaukee to lose that. So I agree, the pressure is on Giannis and Holiday now. You got to fill that void now.
Who takes the shots? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, and what I think also by Middleton being out, I think Zach's going to have one of those games because now, even though Middleton's not like the defense player, but they also had it could go back and forth with Middleton and Zach or whatever. But now, who's going to guard Zach now? You know what I'm saying? I think Zach going to get off this next game.
You know who's going to be guarding Zach? The new flop artist, Wesley Matthews over there. That guy flopping like a fish out of water. Jesus, man.
I was so glad to see that they weren't calling that. I mean, the refs.
Oh yeah, he needs that's where the league needs to step in and start finding this guy and say, listen, technicals are going to be given to you because you can't just go out there and fake get hit or dive over Vujicic's leg and act like you got knocked out of position. He's worse than LeBron. That man flops for anything and everything. It was horrible.
Do you think that Milwaukee tries to bully the Bulls a little bit? I feel like, you know what I mean? Like there was a shot that Middleton on he was going over a screen to get to Levine. He didn't try to go after the ball. He took Levine out. They called a foul on him, but I feel like they try to bully the Bulls. Which not to or anything, but it feels like
you got to think about it. Before Michael Jordan was killing, but then after Michael Jordan, Derrick Rose was killing. He was killing Milwaukee. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, they got it in for, and then. You got to think about this. Before the game, the whole stadium was full of white shirts. Beat the Deer. You didn't really see that whole. You really didn't see it. You didn't see it. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a lot of Bulls fans in Milwaukee. So
we traveled.
Exactly.
Hey, that was great hearing MVP chants when DeRozan was hitting free throws. That was amazing right there.
But and they playing in Chicago. Hopefully they put the red shirts out there. You're gonna see more reds out there. But like I said, Milwaukee had a whole bunch of white shirts out there before the game, and you didn't see nobody wearing it. It was like, what they doing? They gave away free shirts. But the question I want to ask too, Tristan Thompson, he's not playing, but he's being active on the bench, and you can hear him orchestrating where the people to be, where everybody should be. I want to see him play a little bit more, but as long as they win it, I don't mind. Yeah. But I don't want him to feel like, I ain't gonna say it, but he's not that player that's like, yeah, I ain't playing, I ain't saying that. He is actually on the court like the coach, you know what I'm saying? And I gotta give a shout out to him because he's actually doing something that you want to see a veteran do to keep the other players in tune in the game. Because every time DeMar was doing something, the whole bench was up. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nobody just sitting down. Everybody's up. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Tristan Thompson is doing his job, even though he's not doing his job. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I believe every team has, if you look in the past, a lot of teams have that kind of person on their team that doesn't necessarily, have a lot of minutes, but what they do on the bench and how they keep the team together, that speaks volumes. Do you remember we had Nazir Mohammed for us when the Bulls were pretty good? You need that voice just to sit there and kind of calm things down. Miami has had Haslam for years. This is a guy who, again, when you put him out there, he ain't going to give you very much in the offensive board. But defense and just leadership, speaks volumes. And I think that's what Tristan Thompson is giving the Bulls. And I believe that's one of the reasons they brought him in, because they didn't really bring him in to give you points. They brought him in for defense and to bring that bench together when they needed it. And he's really proven to be an asset on the bench, like you said, not even giving us minutes. Now, I believe that if we go up by, if we're up by points, you're going to see him more because of his defense. Right. He just doesn't give you anything on the offensive side. And that's
I didn't even see him do that to Bobby Portis. I can't even see the video. Because when they said Tristan Thompson did it, I said, I remember him falling out, but I didn't know it was Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, it happened. It happened so fast. I didn't see it.
Like he caught a ball. He caught a ball right to the eye. Like literally, he was going up the same time, and he flexed it and right in his eye. But but that's the thing though. That's what Tristan Thompson brings to this team. He brings that toughness to let these guys know, hey, it's okay to be physical. It's okay to smack somebody in the mouth every now and then and show them that you're here to play. And I think that him keeping that bench together and putting guys in the right spot when they come out to the huddle, or he's always talking to him. He's like, you see him calling out, like when the Bulls are coming on defense, back on defense after making a shot, you see Tristan Thompson pointing out, hey, right there. And I think that is what the Bulls needed. It's direction. You know what I mean? Right. He's putting guys in the right spot. And there was, I think it was in the game yesterday when they called the timeout and he went right to Patrick Williams after Giannis made a move with him. And he's like, hey, listen, get up in him. You know what I mean? Like, don't be afraid. Because you saw when Thompson went in yesterday, like Stacey King said, he closed down that middle. That Giannis didn't have a chance to come in there and do his thing because he occupied the space right up in him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So and that's what he brings, and he brings that toughness, that defense, and he fights for rebounds. And I don't know, it's starting to be a little bit effective because guys started grabbing offensive rebounds yesterday. Vujacic, Derek Jones, Caruso. He's got the guys now saying, hey, get down here and fight for these boards. Get these extra shots and let's put points on the board, because that's what's going to beat this team. That's what's going to beat teams is you fight down here for these rebounds, putting extra points on the board. Now it's really hard to beat us when DeRozan's hitting buckets like that.
Yeah, hustle. You got to hustle. I mean, the playoff, because like I said, every possession is important. It's not like the regular season when you come up, okay, you missed that, well, we'll get it back. That's like
right.
Every position is important. every. So let's get to the DeMar DeRozan. Had a DeMar DeRozan type of game. You know what I'm saying? And I didn't know it was a silent 41. I didn't really know he had that many points into the fourth quarter. You know
I'm not gonna lie, I thought the same thing. I started noticing in the third and stuff, but you're right, it was quiet. In the first, when they said that when he had 26 at the one point, I said, Where did he get these points? I don't remember seeing him scoring like that. That's one thing you said. He was a quiet 41, man, because it was nice to watch. Like I said, his perimeter game is unbelievable. Can I say though, how did he not get a foul call on that last layup?
Yeah, Giannis, it was a body and they didn't call it. And I don't know. It was twice that he got fouled. I think on that play because it was 2 times when he was driving to the basket. It just the referee just put the whistle up. I don't know, man, because they try to make it a game, man. I just don't trust these referees, man.
If that was anybody else, that's a foul. I mean, he took him out, and then you saw some of the fouls that Giannis was getting. And you're like, hold on, you got to call him on both sides. But
right,
and to have a superstar like that, you're going to. Do you feel like that's going to transfer over in this next game, the fouls? Like, because look at the free throws. It's a big difference.
Yeah, because I think the Bulls have taken a free throw shot in the third quarter. I don't think they had not one.
I think the numbers was 24 to 12, I believe, and that's half.
Yeah,
but they were. But DeRozan, you saw DeRozan drive. You saw Bucci in the middle there. They just weren't getting calls like they were on the other side. I mean, it's very evident, but let's see if that maybe transferred over now that Bulls has home court advantage. Maybe that kind of swings our way.
No, I think the ref is gonna still be, to me, I think it's gonna be because it's a level ground now. I think they're going to probably try to give Milwaukee a little benefit because of the injuries and stuff like that. I mean, I hope it's not like that. And then people always say we complain and whatever. It is what it is, and we see what we see. You know what I'm saying? So, right. So, I mean, DeMar hitting 41. If he hits, because I'm thinking Zach LaVine's going to have one of those type of games tomorrow. If Zach does, because I was talking to my brother Jonathan. If Zach has one of those type of games, does it hurt the Bulls or I don't know? Because sometimes, because somebody put in comments, Zach takes bad shots. You know what I'm saying?
Can I be honest here? I don't believe if Zach doesn't have a game like that, I don't believe Zach is really playing for his contract. I'm sorry, but Zach LaVine is a great player. Like someone said, takes bad shots. Yeah, he takes horrible shots. We've been watching him for years. Zach LaVine hasn't changed. We just put better players around him. Yeah. I do not believe he deserves a max contract. My opinion, sign and trade him. You sign him for a big contract, you trade him. I see now, a little different. I like Michael Towns over there in Minnesota, and he's not really happy. I believe that would be a perfect fit over here. But he likes Zach, so it really wouldn't work out for him in my favor. But I like him. I think we need somebody like that, a big body. I just don't like Zach as a superstar. I just have never seen it. I believe he's a good 2, maybe 3. But not number 1, and I think this proves it.
But if you don't, and I know we're gonna talk about this probably in a future show or whatever. But since you brought it up, because I always say I told Jonathan this. I said this year if you don't sign Zach, you got to give me Bradley Beal or somebody that's can do something like that. You know what I'm saying? But you just can't if you give up Zach and don't get nobody to come in and play, be in that same rim as Zach. You're going backwards, you know what I'm saying, with the players you got with DeMar and Vooch, you know what I'm saying? So
can I give you a name? I'll give you a name that I would really like. Mitchell from Utah.
Yeah.
But he likes New York. I mean, he loves the Knicks. I believe that's where he's going. But you know I know he's not happy in Utah. And if you package a Zach in a first round or something, I believe you could do something there.
But I don't think Zach want to go to Utah. He got a choice now, you know, so he's unrestricted, and I don't think he want to go to Utah.
Do you trade Nikola for Rudy Gobert though? Because they say Gobert is pretty much done in Utah too.
No,
he making a lot of money too, man. I was for it because I posted in the group, but I didn't know he make a lot of money.
And he doesn't give you nothing on the offensive side.
I'll give you a name to watch, and I think it could happen because it's been a quiet talk, but I think the Joker could be coming to Chicago because him and AK are tight.
I think Denver goes overspend for him. Denver go give him that money.
I was gonna say Denver, you're gonna give him the house ransom for that. If you're not taking just a couple pieces here and there, that's gonna be he's almost a 2-time MVP, bro. Not happening.
But you know what? But if Boots continue to play like he's playing, I'm cool with Vooch if he keeps doing what he's doing now. And if Patrick Williams steps up even better than what he's doing, I think we're still good. I think I still roll with the same team next year. You just got to tighten up get that bench, bulk up that bench.
Absolutely. I wouldn't mind running this team back next year just with a healthy Lonzo Ball.
Right.
You could sell me on doing nothing but pick up rookies, maybe a rim protector, another big man because I like Bradley, but it's just not working. Thompson's a little old, but yes, absolutely. Can you run it back next year with the same team? I'm just not a big fan of Zach with a big contract like that. I just don't believe he deserves that big contract. That's all. And I think
I agree. I don't think he's worth the max deal right now. It's if he wants to stay with this team, he's got to give that hometown discount to say, hey, listen,
But he's not, and you're going. We know he's going to get the money, and it just sucks. Like I said, I would hope that there would maybe be an opportunity for a sign and trade because you're going to give that money to somebody.
And I wanted to talk about this too because I had it down on my list. If Zach, to me, yesterday game, he faded away. I didn't even see him in the fourth quarter. He hit that three, but he was deferring the ball to DeMar like a lot, like giving it to him. You know what I'm saying? And to your statement, I mean, is he worth the max? Because I mean, you give a guy a max contract like that, you want him to be in that moment. He's giving that moment to DeMar.
You're absolutely right. I mean, you saw it. He would give away. He kind of looks like when DeMar's doing good, it looks like he almost is like, this is supposed to be my time. And I feel like that sometimes is how. And you can't kind of knock DeMar's hustle. He does it so quietly, like we said, 41 points. You don't even know he's got 26 before the half. He does it so quietly. He's not a standout guy where he's going to be like, yeah, look at me. And I think that kind of takes away from Zach's shine. And it's kind of was like that Jimmy Butler, Derrick Rose feeling, you know what I mean? When there was like, they both would be doing good and they wouldn't really say much, but they both wanted that shine. I just believe Zach kind of sees his shine kind of going towards DeMar, because I believe that this is DeMar's team. I mean, hands down, you kind of saw a jump from last year to this year in just the way that the team was held together, the way they played down the stretch. Those big shots that DeMar hit in the regular season, you can't put those to the side and say, oh, those were just lucky. Those were huge for the morale of this team, to just know that we have a killer out here. Zach wasn't that killer. And I believe you just see a different beast from these Bulls compared to last year. And I believe that's DeMar.
That's and I like Zach in the beginning, and like I said, it's like my turn, and the fadeaway threes is I mean, he hit him, and it could be a good shot, but he makes him into a bad shot because he's fading away. And he hits him sometimes, but it's like, oh God. But
they look like line drive shots. It's not like they don't have a nice arc. He does that turnaround, and it's almost so quick. That's a bad shot. I mean, there's no rotation on it. You're either going in or it's going farther out.
Well, it's like he's throwing it at the hoop.
Absolutely.
Like a shot put.
But if you got is he also playing hurt? We got to look at that too. I mean, is he play his legs or whatever? Probably is not the same, because usually, I mean, like last year he was going to the basket dunking on people or whatnot. You know, this year is not that he's not that same Zach.
So let me ask you something. So wouldn't that, I mean, if I'm a GM, if I'm looking at this, right, and I said, you know, Zach's a young player, he's had some injuries, and I'm going to give him that because he could be a better player without that injuries. But then you have to turn around and say, but we're looking at a player who's getting older. He's not getting younger. Okay. Yeah. Injuries have a funny way of, when you get older, they become a little worse. So now you're talking about giving him an extension and a max contract with every year he's been hurt with knee injuries. Now you are putting money into a guy whose knees aren't 100%. Now, why do that? See, that's where I'm kind of, as a GM, I don't think I would. I honestly don't think I would. I could never say I'm going to give Zach a max contract when he hasn't played a full year yet. You know what I mean? Like, that's just scary to me to do that. And that's why I would never do it. I believe he's worth money, but not a max.
Yeah, because he's not hurt. Yeah, he's not hurt. He don't have the killer instinct. I think he has the killer. I still think he's hurt, and I like Zach. But like I said, if you're going to get rid of Zach, you got to give me something that's going to be. Because I was watching Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal highlights, and he's a smaller version of DeMar DeRozan because he don't shoot the three a lot. He's a mid-range killer himself. You know what I'm saying? And when he gave Ayo that pointer when they played against each other, he told Ayo, I think Ayo got charged for traveling or whatever. He told him, don't think, just go at it. The next play, he did it on Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal said, I told him, not on me. Not on me, you know what I'm saying? And I think that right there lets me know that Bradley Beal will be a good teammate in schooling these guys or whatever, you know what I'm saying? But
I believe Bradley Beal would be great. Absolutely.
But I just think if they give, it's kind of hard because you got to find out because DeMar came over here because of Vooch and Zach. We don't know. We really don't know the relationship. Really, what Zach and DeMar relationship is. You know what I'm saying? And it's kind of hard.
You're absolutely right, but do you believe? I mean, I believe DeMar came over here to say, "Yeah, I want to play with Vooch and I want to play with Zach, but I also want to show that I, still have it." Because I mean, DeMar DeRozan, a lot of people want to forget, and I don't, because like I said, I love basketball all along. DeMar DeRozan was Toronto. Okay, before they even won the championship, before Kawhi went over there, that was DeRozan's team. I'm not gonna say that I forgot about someone like that. Now he went over to Spurs. He learned under Popovich. He learned how to become a complete player, not only a complete player but a team player, right? So I believe this year he had something to prove. I don't believe at all if you go to him and you're like, listen, you've proven to be the face of this team. And we're kind of going to go into that motion or that movement and kind of go away from Zach. I don't believe he'll be like, no, I like Zach that much. I don't think they have that good of a relationship. I believe he'll say, you know what, who are you going to give me? Let's go. Because I just believe that his attitude has changed the Bulls' attitude this year. I mean, we've had Zach for a couple of years, and it had. And I'm gonna say this too because we came from a team who was a fan base who were told that we couldn't build around the Jimmy Butler, right? That he's not a star that we could build around. Now I ask you as a Bulls fan, who would you really rather have, a Jimmy Butler or a Zach LaVine to build around?
Jimmy Butler.
Right now,
Zach. Jimmy Butler is bad. Jimmy Butler is everywhere he went. He's been toxic everywhere he went. From the Bulls, Philadelphia, Miami recently, and what last team he was with? It was Philadelphia, Minnesota. He taught all three of those franchises, or three for the Bulls, Minnesota, and Philadelphia. He kind of ruined the franchise to me because his attitude is you're not better, you're not working as hard as me type of player. And
he built himself off of that type of atmosphere growing up, even with the Bulls. He had to build himself up through that. He was told that he couldn't be a team that was built around. He got sent to Minnesota, which had a lot of just different chaos. But again, Jimmy has been a solid piece for Miami that they build around. What I'm saying is, maybe throw away his antics. Yeah, he is kind of a loudmouth, but I'm not mad about something like that. The guy gets it done on the court. And he is Miami's number one for a reason, right? Whether he was over there and they got into it that one game that everybody saw, the proof is in the pudding. The man has made Miami, that defense, an unbelievable defense, and just his work. He's like a Caruso, but he does more. He'll give you points. He'll give you 30. You know what I mean? And he's so sneaky with it, and he gives you those hard buckets, and he'll play the best defender. I just believe I'd rather have him to build around than a LaVine. If you're telling me who would I give a max contract to, I think I'd give it to Jimmy over a Zach. I just don't think Zach is a player to build around. And like I said.
Yeah, I mean, and I used to like Butler, but when him and Rose is getting into it, and sort of get into it, and then Noah got into it, he just leave a bad taste in my mouth, you know what I'm saying? For all this stuff that he was doing, and with the rookies that he got on this team, like Ayo, I don't think that'd be good for Ayo, and I don't think he'll get along with Ball. It's like a lot of things going on with this team, but they got it structured now. I think I'd rather. Because what's name is selfish too. Like, give me Bradley Beal or even Mitchell, who you said. I mean, one of the two.
I think Mitchell would be awesome. I've always liked Mitchell. I was mad that we passed up, or he got picked before us, I believe, right?
Yeah. Who picked that year? Was it Wendell Carter?
I think. I think Wendell Carter. I think we. I got to go back and look, but I believe Mitchell went after Wendell Carter.
Yeah,
I could be wrong.
Yeah. I mean, to be told, we ended up getting Wendell Carter and didn't get him or whatever. So, and I don't know why we didn't. I think we had who we had at the time that we passed them up. I think we was just so focused on bigs or whatever that they weren't even looking at. Well,
that's another thing. I mean, when we talk about bigs, the Heat don't have a big body. What their center? He's 6'9", but he has a wingspan that's unbelievable. And they have one of the best interior defenses in the league. So, like I said, I do believe, like you said, that Zach is a good player. I wouldn't say great. He's a good player, but this team is built because he isn't that killer instinct player, and that's why you added a DeMar, and that's why you needed a Vooch, and you know what I mean, and that's why you needed a Lonzo Ball, because LaVine can't do it. And when you pay a max player, you want him to do more than just run around and give you 30 here and there. You know what I mean? You want him to do a lot more.
Yeah, because if DeMar is 32 and Zach is 27, DeMar got a good 3 years, and then Zach could be still 30-ish. And like you said, I think it's DeMar's team because everybody is falling in love with DeMar. We got Jonathan. He just came in. He's about to come in.
What up?
What up?
Oh man, I was typing too much in the.
I see that. I was trying to get to your comments.
Yeah, I was typing too much, and I was like, I had a lot to say, so I was like, let me jump in and everything, man.
Well, we're talking about your boy Zach. So what you think?
You said the who?
I said we talking about your boy Zach. So what you think about him being the face of the franchise?
Man, let me tell you something. Zach does not have that killer instinct. Zach, like, when has Zach won a game and carried the Bulls to a lot of wins? You watch DeMar DeRozan come to this franchise and put this team on his back as he did in game 2. DeMar DeRozan, along with, I don't want to take nothing from Vucevic, but DeMar DeRozan put this team on his back and he wins games. It's not the first time he's done it. DeMar DeRozan is like doing it all. And I expected when they got DeMar DeRozan that Zach LaVine would be number 1 and DeRozan was be number 2. Well, Zach LaVine, when he scored 20 points last night, it's quiet 20. Everything's got to be cute. Zach LaVine's got to go to the bucket hard. Zach LaVine gets the bucket every time he touches the ball if he wants to. He's set up for too many fadeaway jumpers. It doesn't get it. Like these fadeaway 3-pointers, like go to the bucket. You athletic. He can literally go to the bucket and dunk on the motherfucker if he wants to. He chooses to shoot fadeaways and these little acrobatic shots. It's cute, but go hard. Like go to the bucket, get the foul. That's why he doesn't get the call. He goes to the bucket one time and he'll get the call that he's shooting a fadeaway jumper sometimes. He's not the face of the franchise. I hate to say it.
He's always complaining too about like something bad.
Yeah, he complaining a lot. Yeah,
you see it when he made that pass to White. He threw that lazy pass to him. Give him the ball, and then he looked at White like he did something wrong. That's the stuff that just it bothers me when I see that stuff. He's not a leader. Like I don't think anybody.
But in the beginning of the season, when Ball was playing, he was balling. You know what I'm saying? They was all playing good when Ball was there. So I think, and that's why I'm not. That's why I think he is still fitting. Even though I can't believe I'm saying this because I like Bill. But you put Ball with Zach, I think he plays better. Right now, they don't have a player point guard that's dishing out the balls like that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey,
so
the best player in the world didn't have a point guard ever. And so that's no excuse. Kobe didn't have a point guard ever. Well, let's Kobe. Let's go Kobe. I don't want to say LeBron.
LeBron's never had a point guard. He's been the point guard.
Kyrie Irving.
1 year.
2 years.
No, but I just think because you think about it. You think about when Ball was playing in the beginning of the season or whatever, he was rebounding and outletting, and Zach was cherry picking a lot. And that's the way his game was. It was fast paced or whatever. Now that you got DeMar, because DeMar wasn't doing as much as he was when Ball was there. But now, because DeMar is more like the half court presence.
Did DeMar have like 40-something points, like scored 35 points or more with Ball?
Yeah, they were both doing really well. But I believe that's the reason why you can't give him a max contract. We have literally, every time you say that, you're like, well, with Ball, he does better. Your best player, your max contract player, shouldn't be better with you know what I'm saying, Alonzo Ball. Right. He should be good by himself, and that's the reason we literally every time we want to like say, well, you know, he's a good player. Yeah, he is a good player, but he is not a max contract player. He is not someone we need to give because of what we see now. Well, with other players, he's a better player. Well, no, that's not what our max player needs to be. Our max player needs to be the best player on that team. Plain and simple.
Well, so now we go. I'm saying now we're gonna get cute with giving people max contract because we gave the max contracts to the Hardens, the Westbrook, and stuff like that. So Zach looking at that like I'm better than them. You know what I'm saying? So now the market shows that he deserves it on that aspect. But as we watch him play, no, none of these guys really worth the max. But probably KD, LeBron, and maybe one more person.
You're absolutely right.
But you got to think about Harden and like Westbrook when they first got these contracts. They was taking their team to the playoffs. They wasn't going win a championship. Zach LaVine, this is his first time in a championship. What has Zach LaVine has his resume that screams max deal? He's been in Chicago, this is third, fourth season? What has he done to pitch himself away from everybody else? He has some good games, don't get me wrong, but he doesn't stand out. A max player stands out from the rest. Now you look at the Bulls, let's say DeMar DeRozan, he's 31, 32. DeMar DeRozan is playing beyond what he's making right now. He's a killer. He's a dog. He gets the ball. He takes the game over. You know what I'm saying? When they have Zach LaVine had the ball and take the game over and do it on a consistent basis, like DeMar DeRozan.
Never.
Even right now, Vucevic he's been impacting the games 1 and 2 right now. So I'm looking for game 3. DeMar DeRozan, I'm looking for him to come out. He's got the skills. Let's see if he got the head to do it.
But the thing about that, and I say he probably have a good game 3, but I don't want him to F things up because of that. You know what I'm saying? Because
take too many shots.
All the stuff we talking, right? You know what I'm saying? And in a miss and then shoot us out of a game. You know what I'm saying? Just because you're trying to prove something.
Well, what I think he needs to do is if in the beginning of the season he excelled in the fast break with ball, maybe you need to implement that in the playoffs right now where it's, hey, LaVine, we're going to go to you on fast breaks because you are the athlete. You can get to the bucket. And then when we slow it down and go to the half-court game, it's going to be DeMar DeRozan, and you get your shot. But if we're getting out and running, why isn't he not running? Like, I've seen him a couple times on fast breaks. It's like he lags off to the side a little bit, and you see Green running, you see Vucevic running, you see Patrick Williams running, and you see LaVine kind of just like, no, get out and go, bro. We know you're the athlete of this team. Get out and go and dunk on somebody. Do something, like draw the foul. Get Giannis in foul trouble because he's got to get back and try to block your shot. That's what he needs to do, because if he implements that into this series right now, the Bulls are going to be that much more dangerous because now you have to guard this man on fast breaks and you have to try to stop DeRozan on a half-court game.
I believe that earlier you said, with Harden and Westbrook getting these major contracts, I believe that those guys were also the number one options for their team. Zach is not. Like I said, I would say he's my number 2 at best, but I'm always looking for DeMar to take it. But I believe we agree with him needing to have a big game. I also believe that Williams needs to have a big game, game 3 as well, for them to be good. I want him to score more. I want to see him take that next step, not just a defensive guy, but I need to see that offense from Williams because I believe he's going to be a great player, not just a good player. He is going to be a great player once he gets it all together.
Would it be a fair deal for Zach LaVine, Dan? I mean, and what that you think that he is say, okay, and because I think he's going to try to get as much as he can. But I believe it's a good contract for him.
I believe, to be honest with you, because like you said, with the contracts going around in the NBA now, somebody has to get that deal. I believe that's the reason why we have so many people getting this money that doesn't deserve it. But I believe a 4-year, maybe
20 to 150 million.
Yeah, maybe like 4-year, 25 mil. Like I could see them pushing that, but I don't want a 5-year. I just don't. I don't want to be handcuffed with it.
Yeah.
I think give him 30 million a year.
I think you can move through. So go ahead, John.
I think you give him 30 million a year. Like if you're at the max, you can go like a 4-year, $120 million deal. He's not worth a $200 million contract at all. Like he does not deserve that. Now the only way he can earn that is a few things. If he helped DeMar dominate and they get past the first round, they make it farther in playoffs, and he's like going on a tear like DeMar DeRozan. But if he's not doing that, you can pretty much just prove like I'm one of those players. Like I'm gonna give you 20 points a game, 25. I'm gonna impact the game. I'll be top 15 in scoring, but I'm not gonna like put like myself out there. You know what I'm saying? It's like I could compare him to what kind of player? Like remember, not even Baron Davis. Baron Davis was a killer. Like I'm trying to think of a player from the past that I can compare him to that really was a good scorer, but they really wasn't an impact on their ball team. I can't come on nobody right now.
I think Vince Carter was sort of like that. he wasn't your number one because he couldn't. I mean, you wouldn't put the ball in his hand and say, "Hey, make it happen." He was feeding off other players. To me, I don't think like Vince Carter was the number one.
Vince Carter, you could say Vince Carter, but Vince Carter, Zach LaVine's a better player, but Vince Carter had the more dominant game attitude where he'd dunk on you, and Zach LaVine could go to the hole and dunk. He want to do anything. Shoot, he's got to do a lot of. He's got to smack the backboard. He can jump high.
Here's the name. How about a Tracy McGrady? Now Tracy McGrady was a killer, but when he had those back injuries, he was nothing for you. And now he got a big contract, and then he started having back injuries, which proved that his contract wasn't worth him. I believe that's just what you kind of get into getting scared of with LaVine. If you give him this big contract and he has knee injuries for the next 2 years, in and out, oh, it's sore, oh, I got to get it scraped out, he's out for a couple, is that really worth max money? Hell no. Hell no, because you're losing him for 3 weeks, a month out of a year because he has to get his knee scoped.
I just hate it because the thing is, if you don't pay him, I don't want other players to look at it like they did him wrong. You know what I'm saying? That's the thing right there that you got to look at what other players gonna look like. Unless DeMar is that guy up front and saying, "Come play with us." You know what I'm saying?
Zach LaVine reminds me of a Michael Finley. Yeah. The guy that you thought could take over a game with his athleticism, and he was good. Don't get me wrong, Michael Finley was good. We all thought, damn, Michael Finley's got the hops. He can do what he wants to do. But Michael Finley never stepped into that leadership role. He always was put with a Jason Kidd, or I forget where he went, but he never truly stepped into a max contract type player to be that guy, even though he was projected to be that guy. He never was that guy, just like Zach LaVine is. Zach LaVine is that image right there to say, you're a guy that goes good with these players here. Yes. But if Zach LaVine really wants that max contract, then what you need to do, Zach, is you need to take Milwaukee out of this series. You need to help DeRozan go off and blow them out. Go to the next series and do the same damn thing. And we're not Bulls fans. Yes, we want an NBA championship today. Get us to the NBA Finals. I don't care what you do. I don't care what we do at that point. If we lose by 1 or 2 games or whatever, as long as you take this team to that next step and we know what we need, and you dominated with DeMar, then we could talk about your max contract. But if you're going to sit back and be lackadaisic and pretty and complain, no, you're worth $25 million easily to me a year on a 4-year contract, and possibly look into a sign and trade, because you're not doing what your job is. If your knee is hurt, then come out and say, guys, listen, I'm hurting on my knee. But then still don't expect that max contract that you've been wanting that you want from Chicago, because you're not producing the numbers to show max contracts. When Westbrook got his, the man was a triple-double machine every single game, took his team to the playoffs. Even minus with no KD and no James Harden, he still performed at a high level. James Harden got his max deal with Houston. He took Houston to the playoffs. He was a man that was on a mission at that time, highest scoring average at that time. Zach is not doing that. You are, at best, Jeremy said, you're the second option on the Bulls right now, at best. But you're playing right now like the third option because Vujacic is playing better than you right now. So you have to prove what you're worth.
It's going to be crazy. It's going to be a crazy summer because, I mean, what we're talking about is going to come and play, and they probably is going to give him some money that you guys are mentioning, and he's thinking bigger than that. You know what I'm saying? And we could give him the most, and then it'll come down to a sign and trade. Because if Utah do not get past, Mitchell probably will want to leave. Mitchell will want to leave Utah. And I know Bradley Beal. I just like Bradley Beal. I
do too. And Zach can look at this though. You just got your money. You signed a $200 million contract with New Balance. So deal with that money for a while. They obviously love you, but you're not worth a max deal in the NBA right now, man. There's no way.
That's the problem in the NBA. Like, people are getting stuck with these max contracts. Like, you got Westbrook, who's ruining the Lakers' seasons next year because they can't get anybody. You got Harden, when the Sixers lose and realize that Harden's just an overweight shoot guard that he can lose weight, don't play no defense. These guys is making all this money, like $47 million. As they get older, those contracts are going to look to move, and nobody's going to eat that contract unless it's last year the deal, maybe, or they may take it. Nobody wants Westbrook at $47 million a year. The only player that's earning his money right now, making that much money, is probably Chris Paul because he has that effect on the Phoenix Suns. Otherwise, LeBron James. Otherwise, nobody else is making that big money. Is making an impact. Westbrook has been on. He went to the Rockets, he went to the Wizards, and he went to the Lakers. He's been on 3 teams the past 2 seasons.
Yeah, Chris Paul's going to earn that money now. Now that Book's out for a little bit.
Chris Paul's gonna have. He's gonna get past these Pelicans. He's gonna have to get past these Pelicans. If he don't get past it without him, but I gotta give Chris Paul took him to the finals. They should have won. They didn't. I would say Chris Paul has earned his penny, but a ring will look nicer. But Steph Curry. Steph Curry is obviously earning his cash too.
I believe that there's just other options. Like I said, if I was a GM of the Bulls, I would be looking into so many options other than LaVine. I believe Ingram from the Pelicans. I believe he's a free agent this year too, and I wouldn't mind seeing him in a Bulls uniform. That'd be a nice little, another one punch.
I thought he just signed, but I'm not for sure.
Maybe he did. I can't remember. But again, they still have. I mean, they have issues with Zion over there. I wouldn't want Zion. I'm just saying. There's players out there that I think you can look at. Like I said, Beal would be perfect to pay.
Yeah.
Other than Zach LaVine.
I think between Bradley Beal and Donovan Mitchell, those are the 2 guys that you would want to look for to come over here to be that 1-2 punch with DeRozan right now. You know what I mean?
Either one of them fit with ball.
I wouldn't mind if Jordan Poole became available right now. I'll take him.
I already looked at him. He's definitely under contract for the next 2 years.
I've been hearing that might be a possible trade deal to bring LeBron over to Golden State. That Jordan Poole would be the big name in that package to go to LA.
LeBron again.
Oh my gosh! LeBron to Golden State Warriors.
I'm done with hearing about LeBron.
I am too. It's hilarious to hear the talks about now. LeBron going to Golden State, like, bro, stop. You're not the greatest of all time. You might be the greatest showman, going to different teams and showing off what you can do, but you ain't nothing, bro. Stop. That the conversation ends now today, bro. You didn't get the Lakers into the playoffs. I don't want to hear about AD and Westbrook. No, you should have been the man of that team to lead that team to the fucking playoffs. You didn't do it. And then now if you go to Golden State. Yeah, as of right now, then you're dick riding. You're chasing rings for another ring to try to beat Jordan at 6 rings. No, stop. Get out of here. That shit's over with.
And before we get out of here, the updates on the score: Grizzly beat the Timberwolves 104-95.
Wow, I thought the Timberwolves was going to whoop that ass because they were beating the piss out of them in the first half.
They was. The Jazz actually losing by and Luka's not even playing. They losing 78-64. The Jazz are losing.
Mitchell's gone or Gobert. I really believe they're going to try to trade Gobert, but that's dead money.
I wouldn't mind the Bulls. I wouldn't mind the Bulls grabbing DeAndre Ayton.
That dude, he's restricted next year, or
I think he's unrestricted.
Because I know they were trying to have some contract talks with him, but it wasn't going well.
Yeah, it didn't go well. But I've been hearing that I've been watching like the fantasy drafts for the NBA, and I like where the Bulls are sitting at 18 with the guy they got. They pretty much predicted the draft. It's that big guy that came out of Duke, that Williams kid. Yeah, that would be nice.
I want Kofi from Illinois, but
I like Kofi too.
He's coming out. So and they was projecting him probably either go second round or not even get drafted though.
Right.
So
I think he would be great with Ayo on that second team. Ayo kind of takes him under his wing over here. He is a rim protector. If he could just stay out of foul trouble, he could be very good.
I would take him. I'd take him in the second round, put a chip on his shoulder, and let that kid run over people.
Yeah, he's huge.
What we'll do is, like I said, hopefully we'll watch the game tomorrow and see what happens tomorrow. Maybe come back Saturday afternoon or whatever. Oh, you gotta work. Both of you probably gotta work or whatever. We gotta get something in before the next game, probably Sunday. I think after that.
Well, so, if we do it Saturday afternoon, I'll do it from my phone at work because my boss won't be there, so I won't be bothered.
You should have said it online, but it's all
good. It ain't working. He said he's tired.
My boss is out of town.
He said, I'm gonna be on live while I'm getting paid.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. That's what TikTok's for.
Well, we'll see how we go with the game or whatever Friday, and then we'll be back Saturday, probably Saturday afternoon, try to knock it out and get it done.
Sounds good.
All right, then, brothers, take care of yourself out there.